Yo, what's up guys? I can't believe I finally get to review Killing Floor 3. Of course this is only the beta, but this has been one of my most anticipated games, and Killing Floor is a big deal on the channel. Even though this is huge for the Killing Floor community, was Killing Floor 3 actually worth the wait? I know there's some strong opinions out there, but I'll be going over the gameplay, specialists, monetization, the atmosphere, and more. As well as considering that this is only a beta, but a beta can tell you a lot. My first impressions weren't too bad. I'm sure the first thing that you can notice is that I had to run this game on PlayStation 1 graphics. I'll show you guys my specs just in case you have anything similar. Honestly, I was just happy that I could run the game and record. I was a little worried at first. Here's the recommended graphics settings for those of you who don't know. I'm thinking about upgrading my graphics card. So I'm not allowed to judge the graphics or presentation as much as the next guy, even though I've watched some gameplay. It seems like as the graphics get better, we lose that gritty atmosphere which I was expecting, but it's still a little unfortunate. We're not in those dirty, grimy streets of London anymore, we're in the goddamn future. Which I don't entirely hate, but that charm and style in the previous games are gone. It feels a bit too much like a generic modern game. Like, you can tell you're playing Killing Floor because of the Zeds and wave-based gameplay, but you wouldn't be able to tell from the atmosphere, maps, the movement, and even some of the gameplay. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of dashing around and everything being faster. Each Killing Floor game is getting faster and faster, and it's losing that grounded feeling that the first game had. That grounded, desperate to survive feeling. I even like how Killing Floor 2 turned things up a notch, but Killing Floor 3 might have been overkill. I'm probably just bad right now, but when things get intense, it feels harder to control the situation. Like if I die in an older Killing Floor game, it feels like it made more sense. Again, maybe I'm just bad right now. Either way, having things like the dash, and now you can execute enemies like a flesh pound, I've heard people compare this to a modern Doom game, and I can see where they're coming from. I thought it was cool to slide around and I wouldn't mind executing an enemy with low health, but the dash seems like a bit much. As well as things like the new weight system. I don't think there is one, you just get 2 primaries and a pistol, which takes away the depth of picking the right combo of weapons based on your weight. It felt like a nice advantage that support had more weight. I also noticed that you were able to revive people. I don't know how long it takes or if it messes with the gameplay because I wasn't able to do it, but I heard it takes away that scarce feeling when you die. It did feel like a big deal dying in older Killing Floors, but maybe not so much if you can get revived. Another thing is the Z time. You know, when everything goes in slow motion. At first, I thought this was someone's specialist ability. It threw me off that the enemies were highlighted in red, and because of this, it's kinda hard to appreciate the gore because that is also red. Z time felt more natural in older games, but this one is more useful, so maybe it'll grow on me. I didn't use any in a match, but apparently there's zip lines and other interactable things in the game. When I was the engineer, I was able to use these turrets on the map, which I thought was pretty cool, and I don't know how the zip lines will affect the gameplay, but it reminds me when COD Ghosts added interactable things for the first time in Call of Duty. Also, not sure if I like that you have to buy syringes. I don't mind buying armor for extra protection, but buying health seems like a bit much. I can see it being fun to manage your health, but I can also see it being an inconvenience. It might grow on me. I didn't dive into the skill system, but it seems simple enough and I didn't hear too many complaints about it. I just hope it adds good replayability and that they're fun to unlock. Killing Floor 2's system was good enough, but there was definitely room to add more. Like with the armory. I didn't dive into this either, but it looks promising enough with attachments and things to strive for regarding your weapon. In a game like this, I want to customize my weapons to switch it up or make it stronger or just look cooler. I just hope something like the monetization doesn't get in the way with that. There was a battle pass available right off the bat, as well as this little area in the hub for the store. Those seemed like red flags, but it really depends what's in the battle pass, how much it costs, and how much premium currency you get back from it to buy the next one. I heard it's not too bad. Speaking of the hub area, I'm actually a fan of this. I like social hub areas in games. It gives you time to take it all in or just goof off with your friends. It also seems like they're gonna add more to the hub over time, or at least at launch. I would like something interactable to do with other players. The shooting range is a good start. I pretty much played solo, but I'm sure playing with friends in co-op is a great time. It looks fun to communicate, like timing your specialist abilities for big enemies or just sharing the chaos together. And while I'm at it with the specialists, Yeah, this is one of the most controversial parts of the game. People did not like that they were replacing the classic perk system that we know and love with these new specialists. This part of the game feels more like a generic modern hero shooter, and this ties in with the characters. I admit, I don't remember the characters that much other than Foster. I just hope they're not too over the top or corny like typical hero shooters. I just wanted them to add on top of the old perk system, and maybe that's what this is. Who knows, maybe they'll change it like I think Battlefield 2042 did with their class system. I'm willing to be open-minded long-term to see if this whole specialist system works, but I'm not excited about it. Mixing that with the weight system and other gameplay mechanics. And that's the thing, I'm not disappointed enough to say all of this sucks, but I'm not hyped enough to praise it. I didn't expect this dark, gritty game like Killing Floor 1. I had an idea of what I was getting into. I'm able to get initially hyped for something, but I don't really get hyped until I'm enjoying it. So as much as I like Killing Floor, I'm not mad, I'm just a bit disappointed. But here's the thing, I'm still gonna be optimistic. I didn't have a bad time when I played this game. I don't want to hate this game as much as the next guy. It's one of those situations where this would have been a cool game if it wasn't called Killing Floor, but it is, so people are reasonably disappointed. Even though that's the case, I'm still able to enjoy the game even if it's not a great Killing Floor game, you know what I mean? And I'm not even saying it's a bad Killing Floor game, the launch might be better or it'll get updated over time. If it's the exact same at launch and it gets shitty updates, then sure, it'll be a bad Killing Floor game. Hindsight is 20/20, but this is only a beta. I didn't even mention everything like the bosses, I'm curious how all of them are, and I hope there's a workshop, maybe a level editor, as well as some negative things like my game crashing once and I heard some other people had bugs. I also heard that the original developer doesn't work for Tripwire anymore, which might explain the new direction. I don't know the whole story though. But I think my biggest takeaways are that this is only a beta, it doesn't feel like a Killing Floor game but you can tell it is. I'm still optimistic for updates and the long term, but sometimes simplicity is better. It's gonna be a hell of a ride with Killing Floor 3. I'm sure it'll have its ups and downs and that the community will be very vocal about it. This game could potentially make or break the series. It can scare off veterans and not be good enough for new players. Like, I'm still gonna pre-order, but will it maintain a solid player count? The beta probably stops someone from getting the game, or even the Elite Nightfall edition, which I think is overkill. I still think it could be worth getting the digital deluxe edition with all that extra stuff. At least the base game is $40. Maybe some of you have a more realistic perspective than me. This is only my first impression. Like, there were only 3 maps and I only played them once for this video. My bad if I forgot anything. I just want to get my hands on the full game so I can level up. So far, I would probably rate this beta a 6.5 out of 10 because 6 seems too low and 7 seems too high. When the game comes out, I want it to be a 7 and update into an 8 or even 9 out of 10. I'm sure that's too ambitious, but what would you guys rate this game? Leave a comment telling me your first impression or what you would want out of this game to make it good. Right now I'm showing you my favorite comments from my recent Killing Floor 2 review. I like giving you guys the spotlight to make commenting feel more special and to show my support for you guys showing support. As well as my very first channel member. In that last Killing Floor 2 review, I announced membership for my channel, and I'm thrilled to have my very first member. Members definitely get a shout out. Be sure to subscribe if you want some more PlayStation 1 Killing Floor 3 content. I plan on making more videos for this game. You can check out my first Killing Floor 3 game if you want. Drop a rating, let me know what you thought of the video. Either way, I appreciate you for making it this far. And yeah guys, we finally lived to see Killing Floor 3. Even though it's not exactly what we wanted, let's try to make the most out of it. Wait a while to buy it if you have to. As for me, I'm sure it'll be a bumpy ride, but I want to see how it goes. I'll sink with the ship if I have to. But let's hope for smooth sailing. Thanks for watching. Peace.